So the main reason for Shadrack Sibiya to be there was to go there and take the firearm that killed Senzo. See? Yes. And then the message arrived. Before Sibiya arrived there, the message was received by Kelly to say, please make sure the firearm is safe. Don't hand that firearm to the police or Phosphorus. Keep it until somebody is coming to fetch it. That somebody was Sibiya and Ken.
Hey, Tada, we are back with another video. The Madlanga Commission of Inquiry has informed Shadrack Sibiya that they do not need to hear from him anymore. That could only mean one thing only. Let's talk about it, Tango. Yep, the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry have informed Shadrack Sibiya's lawyer that he is no longer required to return as a witness. Remember that when they adjourned in February this year, Sibiya told the Commission of Inquiry that it is after 8 p.m. and he said he was tired. So Madlanga said, okay, let's adjourn and then we'll continue testimony at some future date. That future date will not arrive. There are two possible reasons why Sibiya is no longer required there. One, I think Madlanga feels that Sibiya has provided enough evidence in the commission, and that the commission has also collected enough evidence against him, which will lead to a criminal prosecution. That is my own view. I think the commission feels that there's no need for him to come back because he has implicated himself quite a lot, and other witnesses like Ufani Nkosi, as well as Abu Brown Mkhotsi and Ket Matlala, have implicated him directly or indirectly. Remember, Matlala did not come to the commission, but the commission read his confession that he made to the police that was recorded. So Sibiya, I think what's going to happen now is the same thing that happened to Julius Mkhwanazi as well as Ufani Nkosi. Remember that after those two were done testifying in the commission, they were immediately arrested during the following weekends. So I suspect that the J50 warrant of arrest for Sibiya will be issued within this month. Sibiya is going to be finally arrested because he has hanged himself with his own rope because of what he said in the Commission of Inquiry. He contradicted himself. But before we speak about Madlanga, let's go back to the Mayowa case. Remember that Advocate Tefo accused Shadrack Sibiya of interfering in the Mayowa case. Firstly, he said Shadrack Sibiya instructed the police at the crime scene, Mayowa, they must take the firearm and hide it. The firearm that I'm talking about, it is the revolver that allegedly shot Mayowa. So Sibiya is the one that allegedly instructed people who were police officers to hide that firearm so that when the likes of Mangena they come, then they find no gun at that crime scene. Because we know that the statement by Mlungu Hlophe, which says that Logo Twala is the one that allegedly shot Mayowa Ngeput with a revolver, Kachiko Twala, allegedly. So that's the gun that Tef was referring to. So those are the allegations that were made in relation to the Mayowa case. I was hoping that Madlanga Commission of Inquiry would bring Sibiya back so that he can answer to those allegations, because those are serious allegations. This commission was created in order for all the allegations against the police are thrashed out publicly. But this is not the case. Shadrack Sibiya. So Madlanga, I think he feels that there's enough evidence for Sibiya to be charged. So there's no need for him to come back, because if he comes back, he'll come back and give those long answers which do not address the question that was asked. So Madlanga, maybe he realized what Sibiya, it is a waste of time because he is an evasive witness. But whatever evidence that he provided in the commission has implicated him enough. And remember that he was also implicated by other people, by the likes of Brown Mkhotsi, uFanenkosi and so on. So it's not going to be difficult to charge him because there are those WhatsApp messages that were talking about him as well as Umtagat. Remember earlier on that he denied knowing Umtagat, but as they went on, he started to change his story because he could see that the WhatsApp messages are saying otherwise. So Usubiya also lied in that commission. If you lie in the commission, you are committing perjury. And if you commit perjury, you could be charged criminally because lying under oath is a criminal offense. So, as in relation to the sense of your case, Usbi was also accused of holding a meeting in the crime scene of Senzomiyo on the same day that Senzomiyo was shot and unalived. As a person who knows the law, you should have known better that you are not supposed to hold meetings at an active crime scene because the crime scene belongs to an investigating officer as well as forensic experts. And Usbiya, when he held that meeting allegedly, he was not the investigating officer of the case. He was not the forensic person of the Mayo case. So by doing so, he broke the law because he interfered in the crime scene. If you do that, you are doing what's called defeating the end of justice, and you could be charged for that because it is a criminal offense. Now the Mayo crime scene was tainted and contaminated because of Shadrack's beer. So those are the charges that can be laid in relation to the Mayo case. One, that's the crime scene offense. He contaminated the crime scene. Secondly, the gun issue. If the allegations by therefore are true, Guti Usbia phoned the police and told them to hide the gun, that is a serious allegation. If proven, he could be sent to prison for more than 10 years because that is defeating the ends of justice. Then we go to the Mahlang Commission of Inquiry. Remember that Utladam Kwanas said Usbia was the one that requested those dockets from KZN to be brought to Pretoria. That was done allegedly in order to protect the cartels. Umkwanas mentioned some of those cartel members in not so many words. He said it's Ketmatlala, Ukatiso Mulife, and he did not mention others because he said they were not arrested. But he implied that Sibiya is one of them. So if Umadlang Commission of Inquiry feels that enough evidence has been provided to the commission, it means that some of those allegations by Mkwanas are truthful because the reason why the dockets were taken from KZN in the first place was to make sure that the likes of Katiso Molefe and Ket Matlala are not charged criminally. Remember that Katiso Molefe was after the July statement by Mkwanas, he was charged for some cases. One of those cases was the shooting and aliving of DJ Somebody, as well as DJ Fintos. So those are some of the allegations that were made against Katiso Molefe. But the main charge that was brought against Katiso Molefe, it is the case where Aman Swart was shot by what we called mistaken identity, but it is alleged that he was shot at an instruction by Ukatiso Molefe. Then they tracked that gun and they found out it was an AK-47. And then they linked that gun to the same gun that shot and unalived Utike Somebody, as well as other cases. So that is how Ukatiso Molefe was arrested. But it is alleged that Shadrack's beer and his cronies were trying to hide those cases in order to protect Katiso Molefe because they are in the same cartel, allegedly. So that is the main reason why the Commission of Inquiry was established, was to investigate those allegations by Mkwanas. And I think, as for Sbia, some of those allegations have been proven because once Mkwanas spoke during the July press conference, you saw actions starting to happen. Firstly, the arrest of Khet Matlala, the arrest of Kagiso Molefe, the suspension yakhe uSibiya, and now we have the arrest of Julius Mkhwanazi, as well as this guy Ufane Nkosi, as well as many other police officers that were allegedly involved in these cartels. You saw this week Farouz Khan and some other police officers were also arrested. It's because of that press conference by Molweni Mkhwanazi. But the main issue here is to get those top 5 guys, because they are the ones that are facilitating all this corruption and crime that is happening in South Africa. So Sibiya is allegedly big part of that cartel. So if the Madlala Commission Inquiry says Sakfuni Commission is enough, it means that the arrest of Shadrack Sibiya is imminent. I can put my head on the block and say Sibiya will be arrested within this month, of which is May. And we know that the police, the PKTT, they have a strategy. They arrest them during weekends when they are relaxed and drinking alcohol, busy, minding their own businesses. So Sibiya, I'm sure wherever he is now, he's counting days, saying, day 1, angiboshiwe, day 2, angiboshiwe, until the day that he's waiting for lifike. But I'm sure that he's aware ukuthi uzaboshwa. I'm sure that he now has employed the lawyer, because he's in big trouble. Because those WhatsApp messages that were read out at the Commission of Inquiry incriminate him directly and indirectly. You remember the case here, Impalas. He initially denied the fact that those Impalas were bought for him by Khet Matlala. But when Ufane Nkosi came to the commission, he confirmed that those Impalas were bought for Shadrack Sibiya by Khet Matlala. So why would Khet Matlala buy Impalas for the police officer? It means that they had a corrupt relationship, allegedly. That's what it is. Initially, Sibiya also said he met Khet Matlala twice. He said he met him in his office as well as somewhere else. But then later on, it transpired that Khet Matlala attended birthday Shadrack Sibiya at some point. And that was confirmed by General Sentimule, Sentimule, the one that was accused of Brazilian lift or EPPL through Khet Matlala, but she denied it. So Sentimule confirmed that Khet Matlala was present with birthday party of Shadrack Sibiya. So later on, Sibiya was forced to admit to what, yes, Khet Matlala was indeed at my birthday. So it means bayazana, ayakancane kakhulu. So Sibiya initially lied under oath in the Commission of Inquiry. And we know that when you lie under oath, you are committing perjury. And perjury could lead to jail time. It is simple and straightforward. So now, as we move over this week, I'm sure that Sibiya is waiting with anticipation with EPKTT ifika nini kuyena, but his days are numbered. He's going to be wearing that orange uniform very soon. He's going to be joining Khet Matlala, ePongweni or eKhosi Mampuru, wherever. But that J50 warrant of arrest is going to be issued against Shadrack Sibiya, because the Madlala Commission Inquiry will recommend that charges be laid against Shadrack Sibiya because there is sufficient evidence.
General Khumalo got arrested. That angered General Mkhwanazi to an extent that he sent a message to one of his friends, colleague, that says, can I proceed there?
No.
He sent a message of a song of Tupac that says, I'll kill them at night when they're sleeping. Now, he was so furious. And then even General Masemola, to an extent that I began to hear that they feel that I have something to do with that arrest. I ended up calling the National Commission and saying, NASCOM, I don't know about this arrest. Nobody knew. I didn't even expect it because this thing is something that happened within CI. The National Commissioner then said to me, no, you wouldn't have known about this arrest because it's something that happened within CI.
Okay, collect your files so that we can go.
No. So, bring the warrant of arrest and see if I've got anything wrong that I've done. Your problem is my presence in this case. That is going to expose you. Your police minister. For 27th of January. Why you didn't give me this all along?
Give you what? The question is why you didn't arrest him all along?
Yeah, why didn't you arrest me all along?
But you are investigating, you must investigate and look
Now
for
I'm
him.
arresting him again. I was not given a time
But
frame.
why you waited for this case
Why
to
you
start?
waited until this time?
I was not given a time frame.
Yeah, but all this time you should have investigated him.
It's fine. We'll deal with that.
No,
at court.
We must solve it. No,
Not here.
absolutely. Why all along?
No, I'm not
He
here.
phoned you.
No, I'm not yet.
He phoned you. He phoned you.
About what?
Wait.
No, let's
You
go,
phoned
man.
me.
We are not ready to negotiate. Why should we negotiate with you?
So now you're becoming physical.
No, I'm not becoming this kind. Let's go. If you want us to use the armed force, we'll use the armed force.
No, I want to know from January.
Ask me.
From January.
Therefore, why are you being arrested? Why are you being arrested?
They arrest me because I'm in this case.
Okay.
That's the reason.
Is this why you're arresting him?
Yeah.
No, give me.
Peggy Terra doesn't want me in this case. You see? That's the reason. He's got the warrant of arrest from January. Why he didn't
What
access
are
it?
the charges? What are the charges?
I don't know the charges to start with.
Did they tell you the charges when they were handcuffing you?
I don't know the charges.
Have you guys read him his rights?
They never did that.
Two teams in the police that were investigating this matter. One reporting to the minister, one reporting to the National Commissioner. And these teams were at loggerheads with each other. If I recall correctly, they may even, I stand to be corrected, they may even have been dockets open by one team against the other. It was a total mess. There were requests by the teams for specific prosecutors from the Johannesburg office. There were allegations that against certain prosecutors. And in an effort to salvage the case, I discussed the matter with the DPP of Pretoria and Gauteng and said, we're going to take this case out of Johannesburg and transfer jurisdiction to Pretoria, get a prosecutor from Pretoria to look at both the dockets, at all the evidence, and decide on how to proceed and unravel this in this case. And so that is what happened. But that was done by the NPA in an effort to ensure that the victims in this case got justice. And it's something like that should never happen in our criminal justice system.